I went from low milk supply to exclusively breastfeeding my baby for almost 6 months now. Yes, so my baby is going to be 6 months this month, and I am so excited. I mean, I've been able to do exclusive breastfeeding for about 5 months now. It's been a journey, and in this video, I'm going to share how I was able to do the transition because for the first few weeks of my baby's life, we were doing the supplementary feeding because I didn't have enough milk production. And I've realized over a couple of weeks and months now that this is actually the situation with a lot of moms, a lot of new moms like myself. I had a prolonged labor. I was in labor for 21 hours plus, and I mean active labor. I was in the hospital from 6 p.m. till past 3 p.m. when my baby arrived. And but basically it was over 21 hours. So after I had my baby, I wasn't even in the frame of mind to say I want to put my baby to breast. I was tired. My body was weak a lot. I had an episiotomy, I had tear. So putting my baby to breast within the 1 hour, as it is recommended by WHO and UNICEF, was not even something that I could do. I could not even fathom it. I mean, even after she came out, I was told to the nurse said, "Oh, carry your baby and bless her." I'm like, would you just carry this baby away from me? But I the spiritual part of me came in, and I'm like, okay, yes, I want to bless my baby in this moment. So I did that for a few seconds, and I gave her back to them to clean up and all. But putting her to breast after they were done suturing me and everything, I was not even in the mood for that. I just wanted to, have my bath, get something to eat, and rest. So I didn't know about this golden hour at the time. I just learned about it like a week or two ago because I just realized that a couple of my friends and some other people have been having the same issue. And I'm like, is it normal? Why is it that some of us have low milk supply while some people have, I have some friends who also have steady milk supply right from the beginning. And then I found out that, when you put your baby to breast within the first hour of birth, it helps because the moment the placenta is out, the progesterone level drops. That's the pregnancy hormone. It drops. And then the prolactin gets to work. The prolactin is the hormone that is responsible for milk production. So within that period, if you don't, put your baby to breast within that hour, the production, it's not as if it won't happen, but it slows down sort of. And the truth is, for a lot of us, we would not be able to put our baby to breast in the first 1 hour. Some people go through cesarean section. Some people have a lot of things happening with both mother and child at that moment where it's impossible to put a baby to breast at that point. So then what do you do afterwards? I mean, I wanted to exclusively breastfeed my baby for various reasons. One was because I knew I was going to be at home for 6 months. Thanks to the kind of job that I do, I was going to be on leave for about 6 months. So I knew that I had the time and I knew that I had the support system that would enable me do that. So it was not just even for anything, it was just for those reasons. So after I got home, while we're in the hospital, we're doing majorly I got a breast pump while in the hospital because I stayed for a few days in the hospital before going home. So I got a breast pump. I started to pump. I tried to put my baby to breast, but unfortunately, my madam was already, after putting her to breast a couple of times and there was nothing, she refused to even latch. So I could not even put her to breast. So I kept on pumping and we're feeding her with a syringe for, a while. And this went on even after we got home. I kept on using syringe for her. Sometimes I would, be able to pump. I would give her. Sometimes I would pump and nothing would come out. And she would be hungry, would have to use formula and all of that. I did supplementary, feeding for some weeks. Up until I think about 2, 3 weeks, in between 2 and 3 weeks, was when I stopped. I started to have enough production basically, and I was able to go off, you know, using the formula for her. So how did I do it within those 2 to 3 weeks? It was just very simple. What I did was I researched and I found out that the way breast milk production works is a demand and supply basis. The more you demand for it, the more your body knows to supply. So what I was simply doing was, I realized that, they said babies should feed every 2 hours, newborn should feed every 2 hours. So I simply did something. I was pumping every 2 hours. Like I said, my baby did not latch. She refused to, suck. I always tell people that maybe she was frustrated because there was nothing coming out for few days after trying. So once I put her to breast, she would not even answer me. But once you put the syringe, she will open her mouth. So we continued with that up until I think about 2 weeks. Yes, after naming and all, up until about 2 weeks, and then we started using the bottle, and using the bottle helped because from then she was able to start latching, and my production was already sustained, and she was able to continue. So as I was saying, what I was just doing within those 2 to 3 weeks up until 1 month was I was pumping every 2 hours. I made it, that was all I was doing. I would check my time. Once I wake up in the morning, I will pump. Like I said in the beginning, I had the right support system. My mom was with me, my husband was supportive, so I basically just had to pump. I had people to feed her. So this would work for you if you have the right support system, because you also need your mind to be rested. You need your body to be rested. You need your mind to be rested. If you're doing it from a place of pressure, the whole mental stress would also affect your body. So you want to relax. And let me just put this at this point. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with complementary feeding. I'm not saying that. If that is what will work for you and your baby, please go ahead and do it. What matters most is that you are fine and your baby is getting enough food. So, like I was saying, I was pumping every 2 hours. I would pump, and they would feed her. I would pump, they would feed her. Sometimes I would store it, and I was doing it like that. In the midnight, I would pump 2 times, sometimes 3 times, depending on when I wake up. I was not using timetable. I was not using alarms for the midnight pumps. I was doing as it comes. So once I sleep, I'll wake up. And thankfully, my baby was not sleeping with me. She was sleeping with her grandma. So I would just wake up, pump, give them, and go back to bed. So, like I said, the right support system is very important because you need to be in a good frame of mind. Your body needs to be well rested. There was a point where there are days when I would wake up and I would be feeling dizzy because there are times when I wasn't really eating and all of that, and the more I was pumping, my body was demanding. So I realized that I needed to eat well, I needed to rest well, and all of that. So if you want to transition, if you know that you want to do exclusive, then you can, try these things that I've said. It's just basically demand and supply. The more your baby demands for it, the more your body would not supply. So if you are doing every 2 hours, your body would know to, replenish every 2 hours. If it gets to a point where your baby is sucking every hour, your body would know to supply every hour. So it's just that, that's just it. It's not easy. It's very difficult. It's exclusive breastfeeding, whether you have the supply or not, requires huge determination because it will get frustrating at a point. Your baby would, there are times when your baby would want to suck every hour. There are times when your baby will spend almost 30 minutes sucking, your back will ache, your shoulder will ache, and all of that. So it takes a lot of determination. But like I said, I had my reasons why I wanted to do it. I was determined, and I that helped me because there are so many times that my husband would say, "Don't you think we should go and buy formula for this girl?" I'm like, okay, let me see how it will go for 1 or 2 more days, and then I'll get a balance again. So yeah, you just need to know what works. The purpose of this video is to let you know that you can transition from supplementary feeding at the beginning if you were unable to maximize the golden hour, or you notice that you have low supply. for the first few weeks or few days of childbirth, so you can transition from supplementary feeding to exclusive. It's possible. You can do it. I did it, and so I believe that you can do it if it's something you want to do. All right, then. I hope that this video has helped you, and I hope that you will share it with a new mom or a mom to be so that they can also learn and be blessed by it. All right, then. I'll see you in my next video.